What a great victory last night. Shout out to Claude and Alexi Otts of the Raptors Freak, who were at the game last night and helped us win that victory by, apparently, Claude claims to have personally affected Spicy P to the point of helping him sink 6 triples.
Here's Pascal, turns, fires!
And Alexi Otts claims to have pandered to the referees. So well done to everyone that was at the game last night and all of us sending good vibes. We just tied ourselves for 6th spot against a depleted Cleveland team. I want to quickly go to Alvin Williams. Alvin, how fired up was Matty D because of last night's game?
I think my eyebrow just singed a little bit.
Oh my, that's very fired up. So nice to see you guys getting along so well. Guys, we are still talking about tinkering over wins, as we saw even in the Cleveland game last night with the various combinations coming out on the floor, but it's getting more fine-tuned. And with OG coming back, boom, baba, boom, baba, which was a huge welcome surprise for a lot of us, is just looking so good, and postseason looks so exciting. And this small ball lineup run by Nick Nurse and his coaching staff has gone through everyone except for Bonga at this point. We've seen Malachi, we've seen Yuta, we've seen Svi. We saw game 1, Banton hit his first shot from half court while playing with 2 fellow Canadians on the court in an almost comeback in game 1. We've seen so much tinkering that in my last video, dubbed The Tinkering Continues, I take a look at all of the tinkering that's gone on in the month of March, just to prove to you guys that we've not finished tinkering. It's still going on. But the ultimate tinker, the pinnacle of tinkers, has been the fact that Armoni Brooks has found his way into some real rotation minutes, just so that we can enter the playoffs with a 15th player on the roster. Now, why is this important? The reason is, I'm gonna put it this way, Justin Champagnie. Why do I say that? We need to know whether the Raptors suit their new Armani so well that they choose not to upgrade Justin's contract to a full contract for the playoffs. Let me explain. NBA rosters are permitted to have 15 players plus 2 two-way players. Because we let go of Sam Dekker back in the fall and then moved Dragic for Eubanks and Thad, then waived Eubanks, who by the way is on his 4th 10-day contract with, I believe, Portland, we were able to bring in Brooks, meaning the KLow trade is now KLow in exchange for potentially Armoni Brooks, cap space, Thad Young, and Precious Achiuwa, just keeping tabs. We're at 15 players with Brooks, and when we go to the playoffs, last year with COVID protocols, you were permitted to actually play any of your two-way contract players. So you've got 15 plus 2. This year, that's not allowed. If you want to bring a two-way player onto the roster in the playoffs, you need to actually upgrade them. And this is from Hoops Rumors. You can find this yourself here, and you need to upgrade that contract to bring a guy like either David Johnson or Champagnie into the playoffs. Many speculated that our 15th spot, here's the Raptors numbers, would actually be Champagnie. Why? Because we tinkered with him. We tinkered with him a heck of a lot. He's custom made for our offensive glass crashing, second chance producing brand of Raptors small ball. I was just at a 905 game last week with my girlfriend watching my former team, the Mad Ants, who I used to play for in 2K.
Howard. Hey, on. Nice to meet you, bro.
And Justin was incredible. Just constantly creating chances, hitting threes, and just so confident. He has the potential to be our Juan. No, that's the wrong Juan. I mean our Juan in the box plus Juan. Talk about long arm monsters on this channel. Justin is potentially one of the players that we can plug into our long arm monster lineups as the chaser, as the 5th player, as the Fred VanVleet. But we use these players situationally. You can see I've already added him and Armoni to this graphic because I thought Justin was gonna be the guy that we bring in for this, but it's turned into the case that Armoni looks to be perfect. Let's talk about why. What is Raptors basketball? Raptors basketball is all about these things that we covered at the trade deadline, okay? It is physical and cultural identity. It is control what we can. It is nonstop effort. It is hustle. It is defense. It is believe in yourself that you will hit every shot. Armoni Brooks has stepped into the Raptors lineup, and he has not just been shooting when he gets the ball and is open. He has been literally playing amazing defense. I think they sold him like this. They didn't just call up his agent, they called up him and his agent and said something to the effect of, "Hey Armoni, not sure if you've seen the effort Gary Trent Jr. has been putting in for us and what we've been able to do with him, but we're looking for some depth in the form of a guy that can hit deep shots, handle the ball a little bit, but we don't even want you if you don't meet these criteria. But we think you're the guy for the job. Do you think you can do it?" And Armoni Brooks has stepped in and done it, but he does not by any means deserve all of the credit. We're gonna go to that Raptors term again, develop, is we're gonna show a little history of Armoni Brooks as a Raptor, but we're gonna do it game by game, and I'm gonna explain to you how the Raptors, time and time again, get players and work them in very aggressively through tinkering because they believe one thing. Tinkering during the regular season is more important than regular season wins. Why? Because playoff wins are more important than regular season wins. And young players who get reps during the regular season are closer to being veteran, experienced players than they would be otherwise. AKA, your team is much improved. Let's take a look at how the Raptors develop players using Armoni Brooks to accomplish two things. One, how do they pull this shit off time and time again? And number two, do we want to keep Justin and upgrade his contract? Or do the Raptors suit their new Armoni well enough to give him a full contract and make him player number 15? So without further ado, let's take a look at Armoni's time with the Raptors. Can he be the new Juan? On the 6th, they signed him to his first 10-day. And that lined him up to play the Cleveland game, but he was kind of coming in too late to play that game. So his first actual game was the Spurs game. So let's take a look at his minutes. So the Spurs, he comes in and immediately, I did not expect this, immediately they give him 3 minutes.
Armoni Brooks will check in for the Toronto Raptors. Brooks out of the University of Houston.
And he only got scored on once, really, when Doug McDermott made a nice little play here to shoot over him with height. And then he himself made actually kind of a standout play here. Nice cut.
Brooks dumps it off. Ken Birch is fouled. And
Jack had good things to say.
Nice pass by Brooks in tight quarters that time.
Yeah, Birch went to the line, and it's a great little dump off. Like, double team comes, the help comes, and he knows where to go with it. Good, intelligent play. That led to 2 points, and I honestly didn't expect to see the guy. Very next night, against the Suns, they give him 0 run, okay? So he's watched some tape, presumably. The next night, he starts. Pardon me?
Armoni Brooks getting the start this evening.
Coming here, it was a little bit confusing to get acclimated, but the calmness of this team is what has kept me sane while I'm also learning multiple plays.
Man, he's a really good shooter.
Expect the unexpected when you have Nick Nurse. How about Armoni Brooks getting a start tonight? Great opportunity for the young man.
And granted, like, most of us just thought this was going to be an opportunity for him to take shots. Like, look at him calling for it right away. He was communicating and trying to get open. He did this pretty well all game. And whenever it was his turn to shoot, he would shoot. And this transition shot, of course, leads to an unset defense and 2 easy points just because he's ready to shoot.
The wide open ones where you really have time to gather yourself are actually the hardest ones because you can actually sit there and be like, oh, I really need to make this shot.
Jack, what's that lead to?
Putback opportunity.
Hey man, Jack, let's do breakfast, brother. Eventually, he's got his chance to sink some shots. And look at the quick trigger. Matty D.
3, got it.
The ones that you just come off a screen and it's just a split second that you have to get it off, you know, those are the things that you practice every day. So.
There it is, right? A little pitch play, and Brooks coming off and knocking down to Jimmy.
But we knew the shot was going to be there eventually because that's how he was touted. What was immediately shocking for me was the handles and the playmaking. Jack had amazing things to say about that extra pass, and then here he makes a great pick and roll pass to Scotty, who doesn't quite finish, but still a good play. And then here to Pascal in transition. Some really good finds.
Oh, Armoni Brooks, great job. 2 assists, hooking up his teammate.
Like super pleasant surprises here. But the thing I found the most surprising when I saw him listed out at 6'1" was how disruptive he was in this game in terms of his length and rebounding ability.
There's an ability defensively.
You know, leave your mark.
It seemed like even though this was his first real bit of action, every play he was changing shots.
He's springy, he can change directions.
And like, finally, like, he gets this offensive rebound partway through the game. And I'm like, okay, this is a little bit unreal for a guy who's 6'3". Eventually, I applied my incredible powers of investigative journalism in the Google box and found out that his wingspan's 6'9". Before we go any further, I should say that if there's any headhunters for the CBC watching, I am available if you need someone to research useless basketball wingspans. Suffice it to say that arming myself with this new information made more sense out of these kind of plays. Look at him fight through this screen and then be able to disrupt this play.
Brooks with the denial there. And
wingspan. All in all, he put himself together a really good night. In fact, I think Matty D and Jack were pretty impressed, guys.
Armoni Brooks.
I tell you what, he's got a nice presence out there. He's made some good alert passes. He's playing with energy defensively. Stepped right into his shot. Well done so far.
So what they're doing here is producing videotape for him to see himself making mistakes so that he can learn from it and integrate into the lineup faster.
I'm trying to watch extra film or, you know, asking questions just so I can just figure out as fast as possible.
Which is just like such a clutch move for the Raptors, and it's what we've been talking about in terms of
Springy,
prioritizing, tinkering over wins, even though you still really want to win. Because the wins that are the most valuable are the ones that come in the postseason, and we ensure more of them if we have guys that can next man up. Then we got the Lakers game. You see Armoni got 3 minutes there, still not sinking shots. And then in the Clippers game, here's where he starts to actually hoisting him. He's 0 for 3, -8 still. Second Lakers game, doesn't play. The Philly game, this is significant because here he gets 14 minutes of extended time, and this is the game where we sat Freddie so that Brooks can fit in as one of the chasers in our 3 long arm monster and 4 long arm monster sets. Okay, so Brooks comes in with big responsibility. This is the Raptors giving him a vote of confidence, and he shows up. He hits 2 of those outside threes from distance, and the boy can shoot from distance, that's for sure. And he goes +10. Then we get him against the Bulls, and this time it's Gary that's sitting, which gives the team some minutes to tinker with. And sure enough, they give him almost 14 minutes again. He's a -5, but he's 2 for 5 from 3, and he's active. Okay, he's very active on the court, and this is what we need from him, okay? We don't need him to be perfect. We need him to be active and dig in and hustle and play defense. Use his length, right? That wingspan. So people think he's short, but he's got a wingspan of 6'9". It's so deceptive. It's so hard to play against. And we really saw that wingspan really get showed off last night against Cleveland. So look at Brooks, 18 minutes +8, 2 for 6 from 3, which is great. We see him contributing on rebounds. We see 2 steals, a block, just amazing. So we see how the Raptors being able to blitz the development of a young player like Armoni by giving him confidence, by inserting him right into the lineup. Why? To produce videotape and then giving them breaks off to study that tape. That's as simple as it can get. And yet it's so novel. The result when that confidence is placed in a young player like Armoni who has confidence in himself already and fully buys into a system that is constantly challenging them to embrace their role in a professional basketball family and are shooting for the sky. The Cavs game was the result. It's been so fast and we run a very difficult system. So guys, just for a treat, here's all the plays Armoni was involved in the Cavs game last night. Enjoy.
Boucher and Achua checking in for the Raptors along with Armoni Brooks. Here's as Pascal knocks it down. Armoni Brooks doesn't go. Raptors have turned up the intensity. Love. And an air ball. Cavs have missed their last 6 to no look. Oh! How sweet it is! He's got a dozen of the Raptors. 23 does Pascal. And Armoni Brooks doing a great job. Now they're calling a foul on Armoni Brooks, but great job.
There's some real athletic ability there defensively if we can amp that up a little bit.
Raptors had a foul to give. Osman spinning. And they're going to review it for a flagrant. Good D. Penn State, he was undrafted. Corner 3 doesn't go. Tracked down by Brooks. He'll turn, fire. Raptors up 20. Chua. Brooks up fake, and too many steps up on the glass. And deflected by Boucher. Here's Thaddeus Young to the trailing Brooks. The 3 short. 7-point game. Barnes. Great body control. Bring in the air.
I miss baseball, man. I used to play.
I know.
12 and under.
Pascal, he's got 25. Kicks it. Here's
Brooks coming back, not giving up on a play after a miss. And he's been struggling a bit from the field, but he's not struggling on the defensive side. That is excellent hustle. And once again, this
third quarter action. Brooks the 3. One time! One time! Here's Armoni Brooks. Barnes on the run. Back to Brooks. Fred. No. Batted out. Taken down. Here's Armoni Brooks. Oh! From Burlington.
tough shooting early on, but he's found his rhythm. A couple great defensive plays, but he's not bashful and he's not lacking confidence. Fred Van Vliet in there as well, so that can help you.
Marking in a 3, good.
Good defense.
Quite a game for Armoni. So who would you promote? Would you promote Justin and let Armoni walk, or would you give Armoni the full-time contract and keep Justin as a two-way, meaning he could not play in the playoffs? Guys, let me know what you would do in the comments. What'd you think of that win, Kawhi? That's a pretty big one. It's gonna be another Larry Kawhi. We're gonna catch them with their pants down.
This is Chef's Kiss approved. Mwah!